Hello and welcome to another adventure on this planet Earth. I'm Mark Gilchrist, and this week we're going to discuss crossing borders around the world. Alright, so here I am on Friendship Bridge number 4, connecting Laos and Thailand. As I've checked out of Laos, and I've yet to check into Thailand, I'm in what they call no man's land. Pretty quiet out here. Since I left the US 5 years ago, I've crossed more than 30 international borders. Americans don't cross borders nearly as much as people around the world do, mainly because the country is so big and so diverse. In fact, fewer Americans have passports than many other people do. Back before 9/11, Americans didn't even need passports to do a lot of traveling, like to Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean. Just a driver's license would often do it. There are crazy borders all over the world, including in the US. Look at what Thailand does. It just goes all over the place. It goes down here into this isthmus. It shares it with Myanmar, known as Burma. Then over here with Cambodia. Look at the shoreline that it has. And international travel has actually gotten better and more easy. For example, with the European Union, you could travel through any of those states now and not even stop. So here I'll give you the straight up and the low down on crossing borders around the world. So going from the simplest to the most difficult, here are some things you can encounter when crossing a border. First of all, the easiest one is just the simple ones where all you need is an ID. And those still exist around the world in many places, especially with citizens from neighboring countries. So the next level of security is where you need a passport. And I think today, as a US traveler, you could expect to need one. The third level of security you'll need is a visa. Now, a visa is permission to enter a country. Many Americans don't even know about these because the places we travel, you don't need them. Throughout the Caribbean, Europe, etc. Just fill out some paperwork at the border. But I'm finding that visas are my second greatest challenge in traveling abroad. Throughout Southeast Asia, every country has required one, usually for 30, 60, or 90 days for tourists. Usually, visas are very easy to get. You just walk up to the border, fill out some paperwork, and they give you that permission. Yeah, that's called visa on arrival. And most tourist visas are only good for a few months. You want to stay any longer, you have to get a different type of visa. My greatest challenge crossing borders around the world is through customs, because I'm riding a motor vehicle, a motorcycle, and customs agents are real particular about that. And this really drives me nuts because my vehicle, a little Honda 125, is really worth only $300-400 at most now. Whereas I've been carrying camera equipment worth thousands and thousands of dollars. They don't care about that. And here's what you're in for if you try and cross a border with a motor vehicle. There are several layers of confusion in front of you. First, I guess the biggest and most obvious is language. With English, you'll find many people who kind of speak a little bit, but not much. The second layer of confusion is that customs can be very confusing in itself. There's so many laws and regulations, depending on which country you're from, where the vehicle is registered, and all that, that actually does make their job hard. And the guards are not always that informed. Sometimes you have to inform them of the particular law that's going to help you out. So you have that layer. And the third layer of confusion, kind of the worst one, is that quite often these guards accept bribes. And so they're going to look you up and down, size you up, and fish for a bribe. They will throw stuff in front of you like, no, you can't do this, or no, this is incorrect, or they'll throw all that in front of you, hoping that you'll try and bribe them. I have never bribed one of these people, and I'm not even really sure that I've that they've wanted one. They're very kind of coy about it, but there is that just makes things a little more cloudy. And another hassle with traveling with a vehicle is some paranoid countries won't let you do it unescorted. Spending 3 months in China, I had to ride on planes, trains, and buses. Yeah, it was frustrating. And going through Myanmar, I'll have to hire an escort. Cost maybe $1,000 just to get through the country on my way to India. Yeah, I hope I didn't scare you too much. I mean, international travel is still very, very easy, and there's no better time in the history of the world, really. So don't be discouraged. Just plan ahead, a lot more than I do. As I traveled, I discovered that people around the world have passports more often than Americans do. And what I hope is that my fellow Americans and people around the world will get themselves a passport and use it. When you first get it, look at all those blank pages and fill them up one by one. You won't regret it. Well, thanks for hanging for my latest adventure. I'm Mark Gilchrist, and I am, you are, we all are, on this planet Earth.